Okay, thank you everyone. I am Anupama, the co-host of Cleft Sunday, and I am a data scientist by profession and a humanitarian by passion. And to all those people who are joining us for the first time, Cleft Sunday is actually a platform where we invite um, people who are actually contributing in their smallest capacity to bring breakthroughs and to bring changes in their communities dealing with social, health, environmental causes. And I, along with Dr. Kirti, we have started this platform. Dr. Kirti, before I want to actually start the talk about today's topic, which is autism, I just want to tell you that Dr. Kirti, she has just undergone a minor surgery, and so she might not be available completely, though she is online. But she has actually shared a video for all of our participants, and I would like to share that.
Hi everyone, myself Dr. Kirti Gehlot. I'm a radiologist by profession and a humanitarian by passion. Me and Anupama, who's my cousin, we both started this Cleft Sunday sessions uh, in December end last year, where we conduct weekly Zoom talks on practically any topic, any life topic that is related to any one of us. So feel free to share these events with anyone in your life. These are free events. You don't know, maybe somebody else needs these more than you. COVID has been really difficult for humanity as a whole, and in last 1 year, we have missed the human connection. And this is an attempt of us to provide genuine and authentic human connections. There is no formality, there is no pretensions. Here we all say what we want to say, and anyone can request for any topic, anyone can come and speak. Please let us know if there is anybody in your life who's doing something to make this world a better place. We will definitely invite them on our platform. April is all about autism awareness. And before starting autism awareness, I would like to share a bit about my life. My son, who is 8-year-old boy, was diagnosed with mild autism spectrum disorder and severe ADHD when he was 3-year-old. Since then, he is often on therapies, treatment, and various interventions, and he's doing really good. He's a genius. He has his own YouTube channel, and I'm proud of him. I love him. He loves me. But there has been challenges. He has challenge in with this world, and we have challenge understanding the way he is dealing with us. Today is a special day for me because we had this privilege of inviting Rakshita Shekhar on our platform, who is an adult and she's on autism spectrum herself. Everywhere in April, there are programs happening on autism awareness from a professional's point of view, from a parent's point of view, uh, how difficult it is to diagnose or treat, or how challenging it is the life of autism parent. But today we are going to talk about the life from eyes of a person with autism herself, and I'm really looking forward to this session. Every time I talk to Rakshita, I feel very proud of her, the way she's taken her life, and I really hope that this session comes as a ray of hope for uh, parents who has autistic children. That there is a lot that can be done only and only if we really understand that autism is not a disability, it's just a different brain, and we have to learn how to understand that brain so that it can function to its maximum capacity. There is so much going on about autism awareness in April because 2nd April is World Autism Awareness Day, and first week is Autism Awareness Week, and the entire April month is Autism Awareness Month. But for people with autism, every day is autism awareness. Uh, I would like to start by saying what is not autism. Autism is not mental retardation, and every autistic person is different, unique. Autism is a developmental disability that mainly affects communication, social interaction, and some sensory issues. We will talk about in detail about later. Autism people are different. They are not less than other people, and I am a very proud parent of a very special child. And sometimes it's difficult, but it's more difficult for the person with autism. There are many talented personalities or geniuses in the world. ऐसा माना जाता है कि आइंस्टाइन, न्यूटन, एडिसन जैसे साइंटिस्ट ऑटिस्टिक्स थे, और बहुत सारी डिस्कवरीज, बल्ब का आविष्कार, इंटरनेट का आविष्कार, रेडियो का आविष्कार इन्होंने किया है। बहुत लोग बोलेंगे कि हमारे ज़माने में तो ADHD, ऑटिज़म ये सब नहीं था, आज ही होता है, लेकिन ऐसा नहीं है। शायद उस ज़माने में 10-12 बच्चे पैदा होते थे, उसमें से 2-3 बच्चे अगर नहीं पढ़ पा रहे हैं, नहीं कुछ समझ पा रहे हैं, नहीं बात कर पा रहे हैं, तो उसे इग्नोर कर दिया जाता था। तो 2 तरह के ब्रेन होते हैं, एक न्यूरोटिपिकल, जैसा कि नॉर्मल ब्रेन जिसे कहा जाता है, और एक होता है न्यूरोडाइवर्स ब्रेन। न्यूरोडाइवर्स मतलब कि एक ऐसा ब्रेन जो डिफरेंट तरीके से सोचता है, डिफरेंट तरीके से काम करता है। लेकिन अगर एक ऐसे ब्रेन को एक उस दुनिया में छोड़ दिया जाए जैसे कि हमारी दुनिया है, तो उसे एबनॉर्मल माना जाता है। न्यूरोडाइवर्सिटी के अंदर बहुत सारी कंडीशंस आती हैं, और ऑटिज़म में लोग एक अलग नज़रिए से दुनिया को देखते हैं। ये कोई बीमारी नहीं है, और ऑटिज़म बढ़ता जा रहा है। ऑटिज़म डिसऑर्डर में आई कांटेक्ट पुअर हो सकता है। लड़कियों में लड़कों से कम देखा जाता है ऑटिज़म, और 3 तरह के ऑटिज़म होते हैं, जिसमें कि जो लेवल 3 है उसमें बहुत ज़्यादा सपोर्ट की ज़रूरत होती है। एक तरह का स्पेक्ट्रम है, लेकिन लोगों को लगता है कि स्पेक्ट्रम का मतलब है कि कुछ ऑटिस्टिक है, कुछ ऑटिस्टिक नहीं है, कुछ बहुत ज़्यादा ऑटिस्टिक है, पर ऐसा नहीं है। ये बहुत डिफरेंट टाइप का स्पेक्ट्रम होता है, जिसमें बहुत सारे जो हमारे फंक्शंस होते हैं, जैसे कि लैंग्वेज, मोटर स्किल्स, परसेप्शन, एग्जीक्यूटिव फंक्शन, सेंसरी, तो हर बच्चे में इन सारे जो फंक्शंस की लेवल है वो अलग अलग तरीके की होती है। तो इसीलिए कहते हैं कि हर ऑटिज़म स्पेक्ट्रम पे जो बच्चा है वो डिफरेंट है। एक ऑटिज़म वाले बच्चे को तो सिखाया जाता है कि दुनिया में लोगों से कैसे बात करनी है, लेकिन आज हम सीखेंगे कि ऑटिज़म वाले बच्चे से कैसे बात करनी है। एंड आई वेलकम रक्षिता शेखर। रक्षिता ऑटिज़म एडवोकेट है, और आज वो बताएंगी कि वो किस तरह से अलग अलग प्रोग्राम्स के जरिए ऑटिज़म अवेयरनेस, ऑटिज़म एक्सेप्टेंस बढ़ाती हैं। और आगे आई हैंड ओवर द सेशन टू अनुपमा एंड रक्षिता। थैंक यू।
Thank you, Didi. I think the video was very informative, or the video in itself is like an eye opener to a lot of people here. So let's begin with the session. Rakshita, thank you for joining us. I know you're very busy. ऑटिज्म अवेयरनेस मंथ बीइंग अप्रैल, आप बहुत बिजी रहते हो, एंड आपने इस बिजी स्केड्यूल में हमारे लिए टाइम निकाला इस मिशन में। यू इन्वेस्टेड एंड आप आए हमारे प्लेटफॉर्म पर। Heartily a very thank you and warm welcome to you. So a little bit about Rakshita. Rakshita is an inclusive education consultant. She has extensive experience as a general educator teacher, and she's a special educator. She is also a member of 2 international advocacy organizations, namely Neuroclastic Inc. and Universal Design of Learning. And above all, I think she herself is on an autism spectrum. Rakshita, let's begin. Tell us when and how you were diagnosed with autism.
So, my mother says that even when I was born, from the time I was born, she used to flag issues. Uh, uh, and we used to go to the doctor. I remember we used to go to the doctor, I think every week or 2 weeks. And no doctor ever spoke about autism. I think उन दोनों में autism नाम की चीज किसी को पता नहीं थी. So um it just went on and on like that. Like they used to say ki हाँ ठीक बड़ी हो जाएगी तो ठीक हो जाएगी. uh, of course मैं तो स्टार्टिंग से ही ठीक थी. लोगों के देखने का नजरिया गलत था. But when I gave birth to my child, in in 2018, I was um, very 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 excited, like every mother. When he was born, I was like, "नहीं, मेरा बच्चा है, मैं सब कुछ करूंगी." um, and I think fourth month, in the fourth month, 3 months passed by, and in somewhere in the middle of the fourth month, I went into a complete burnout, and I didn't want to see my child, I didn't want to touch my child, I didn't want to get out of the room. I didn't want any light around me, I didn't want any sound around me, I didn't want to see any people. Pura din I used to be inside the blanket. And of course everybody was concerned कि ये क्या हो गया, ये sudden इतना uh, extreme shift from I will do everything to I don't want to do anything. And even I started thinking about it कि हो क्या रहा है मेरे साथ, and why am I in this situation. um, Mummy, like every 2 hours she would bring the baby in just for me to feed the baby. Um, so that's when I started thinking that this was not the first time I've had this situation in my life, uh, where I just cannot deal with anything, even the smallest of things. I cannot get up and brush. I don't want to take a bath. These kind of things are taking a lot of energy. And I thought it must be just depression, postnatal depression, postpartum depression. But then postpartum starts within 1 week of childbirth, and this was in the fourth month. So it had to be something else. And I was able to connect to उस time पे how in my 11th standard I had this issue, how in 2013 twice I had this issue, and I was showing the same kind of symptoms. If it was so, I started reading up, because I was already a special educator, and I was already a lot into psychology. So I had my books and all that. But then when I started going back to these books, it all just spoke about how everything is a problem. And then I happened to read about autistic burnout, by written by an autistic person, about how the person experiences burnout, which is slightly different from clinical depression, and why how it happens through autism because of uh, living in a society that is not designed for you. And everything just fell into place, and I started researching more and more, uh, by reading more and more accounts of autistic people. So more and more literature written by autistic people, books, articles, YouTube videos. And slowly things started falling into place for me. It was like eureka moment कि हाँ यार, पक्का पक्का, like same pinch, यही होता है मेरे साथ, यही होता है मेरे साथ. And then I took multiple tests. All of them showed autism. So screening tests. So I went to psychiatrists, psychologists, many of them. I did not get a diagnosis. Somebody said, no, you speak so well, you can't be autistic. Somebody said, you have a child, you have a happy married life, you can't be autistic. Somebody said, तुम इतना पढ़ लिए हो, you can't be autistic. uh, so it was very difficult for me to find a psychologist who was even ready to listen to what my experiences were, or what I had to say, what my struggles were. One of them said, you think too much of yourself, इसीलिए इतना research कर रहे हो. Just stop thinking and stay at home. Another one asked my husband, she didn't even turn to me, she turned to my husband, and this was a psychiatrist who had just returned from the UK after spending some 12-13 years there. And she turned to my husband and she said, do you feel like you just can't live with your wife, that she's too difficult? And I was sitting there with tears in my eyes thinking, what is this going on? And then he was more sensitive, my husband was more sensitive, saying, yes, she has a lot of struggles, we've been talking about it, but then that's why we are here, we want help and stuff like that. And at one point I just stood up and said, I did not pay you 2000 rupees for 20 minutes so that you can insult me. And then even at that time she didn't turn to me, she was looking at my husband and she said, see, I told you, your wife has behavior issues, I think she needs behavior therapy. I like, अब कुछ लेके वो फटक दो उसके सर पे अभी. So only 6 months back I got my official diagnosis, because I finally found somebody who was ready to even do tests on me. Otherwise they were not even ready to do any tests on me. So yeah, the moment I realized that my intuition, that my research about myself was right, I was actually very, 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 very happy. Uh, Although I knew it was autism for quite some time, and knowing that it is autism actually helped my family and me start to deal with the struggles that I had. Our relationships became better. How they support me, they started understanding me more deeply. So how they support me started changing. Yeah, that's my diagnosis story. So did I talk too much?
No, that's
Okay.
perfectly,
It's okay.
perfectly fine. Um, so I mean, that's quite a story, Rakshita. What I noticed is that you said that it's just 6 months back that you were satisfied and you finally got, diagnosed well. So, and also as in the video we saw that autism is different for males versus females. Why is that? And why is it like? Why did it take you so many years to get detected now?
That's a very important question. Um, my experience is not unique.
Mhm.
I have now met hundreds of autistic adults across the world, including India, and uh, many of them have the same experience. Especially people who are born and assigned, people who are assigned the gender female at birth. Why do I use this term? Because uh, people might grow up to find that they don't want to associate with the gender female and they operate more as a male, or they don't want either female or a male tag to their identity. So the gender identities might differ. So that's why I'm using this term. People who are assigned female at birth, they usually have this issue that they go undiagnosed. So पहले तो सोचते थे कि ये लड़कों में ही आता है, लड़कियों को ये छूता नहीं है. And then we realized that nahi, it comes in girls, but whenever it comes in girls, it's very severe. uh, Official statistics say 1 girl to 4 boys have autism or are on the autism spectrum. But anecdotal records show that most females, I mean, it might be, sorry, anecdotal records show that it might be 1:2. For every 2 boys who are diagnosed with autism, 1 girl is diagnosed with autism. So, um, why is this the case? Because girls present very, very, very differently. How autism manifests itself in girls is very, very different, and only recently, in the last 10 years or so, we have started understanding this. And this is a worldwide issue, it's not just in India. All are So first of all, for example, girls may have less uh, external, okay, first of all, girls may have more social motivation. It could have something to do with the neurology itself, girls are more communicative. But it could also be something to do with societal expectations, because बहुत young से girls are taught to be more social, more social. लड़का अपने आप से रहना चाहता है, it's fine, but लड़की अपने आप से रहना चाहती है is not acceptable. So girls are taught बहुत at an early age to serve when guests come. उनसे वहां पे जाके बात करो, हेलो बोलो, उनको वेलकम करो. So girls are taught these, and I mean, there's this expectation on girls, so they pick up these skills very early on, even if they're autistic. um, uh, they tend to be more quiet as a coping mechanism. Boys tend to be more um, like display their emotions or behaviors externally. Again, I think this is something to do with societal conditioning. लड़का अगर गुस्सा दिखाता है तो दैट्स मैनली. लड़की अगर गुस्सा दिखाती है तो दैट्स राक्षसी. सो लड़की को चुप रहना चाहिए. So that way, because the girls are quiet, because they are more socially connected, because they are better at social communication, they get missed, they go under the radar. And on an average, girls are getting diagnosed in adulthood.
That's too late.
Yeah, yeah. And like, I remember we went to psychiatrists when I was in ninth. At school, I was this really, really, really nice child, because I had figured out that how you survive in school is just shut your mouth and finish your notes. You don't have to do very well in exams. You don't have to uh, be very good at everything. But if you just keep quiet and if you just complete your notes, uh, you will not get into trouble with teachers. And tell me if that is not true. Challenge me if that is not true.
That is true.
Yeah.
So if I could figure that out so many years back, a lot of our girls are figuring it out.
True.
Even today.
Even today. Right. Yeah.
And so in school, I was this, all my PTM meetings, yeah, Rakshita is a very well behaved child, very nice. And my mother would be like, but wo to ghar aati hai to rakshasi ban jati hai. She's very aggressive, she throws things, she's always angry. Does she hate me? Is that why she has this Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, Dr. Hyde, no, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde personality? And we went to psychiatrists when I was in ninth. The first psychiatrist said, "Ha, so beta, bolo, why are you troubling your mother?" And I went and fought with my mother. How dare you take me to such a person? The next one we went to said, "So beta, see, Your mother is doing so much for you. Don't you have gratitude for your mother? Huh? So I decided, yeah, these psychiatrists and psychologists, goli maro inko, there's nobody to help me. I have to help myself. And I started reading astrology. First, I read handwriting analysis to figure out, okay, mere saath kya ho raha hai? And I got really very deep into handwriting analysis. Then I got very deep into astrology. Then I got very deep into psychology, then sociology. This is another trait that you will see in girls, that they will pick up uh, like the intensity of their passions. They can be passionate about makeup, but they will know the addresses of, probably, okay, for example, they will know the addresses of all the makeup companies in India. They will know what materials they use in their makeup. They will know all the different types of brushes there are, and which companies make those brushes, and what is the market revenue of those companies. That's where you look at, that's where you realize there's autism going on. That's an autistic identity right there. They can be interested in, so I know this girl, this student of mine, who was into shiny things. Everything was shiny for her. Her pencil box was shiny, her bag was shiny. On civil dress days, she used to wear shiny clothes. Her pencil was shiny. Like everything around her was shiny, because she loved shiny, shiny, shiny. And she knew how shiny, like the physics behind shiny. And when the interest or the passion becomes so intense, that's where you start thinking about, okay, is there an autism identity going on here? But these but these features or traits, psychologists are not aware, doctors are not aware, psychiatrists are not aware. None of our diagnostic tools pick up these things. They are all they are all based on boyish behaviors. In our society, it's okay for girls to like shiny, right?
Yeah.
It's okay for girls to read books, right?
Yeah.
And read and have like such a passion for books that they're always reading books, right? It's okay and that's why we don't see that these children also have support needs, and they get missed uh, until it becomes really late. Like I told you, in ninth I was this um uh, I was this very aggressive child at home. In 10th, I want to tell you, I was writing detailed notes of how to kill myself, because I couldn't understand what was going on in my life. I couldn't understand why I was the way I was. I had figured out ki there's nothing, nobody can help me, nothing is possible in this life. Um, and the only thing that saved me was my father used to say, this world is um, the greatest things in the world are not made by people who are not made by people who are different. They're made by people who do things differently. For me, which basically meant that it's okay to be who you are, and there is a great future for you, so don't give up. We can't figure out this thing right now, but we will figure this out a few years from now, so don't give up. That is the message that I used to get when my father used to say that sentence. Um, and I want to tell you, this is a very, 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 very big crisis, because we know now, statistically, autistic people, children and adults, okay, teenagers and adults put together, are 9 times more likely to commit suicide than non-autistic people. There was a survey done in UK some years back, where they compared children who had died. Okay, and we are talking about children, so they're on their sample came from schools who had died by suicide, and the number of autistic children who had died by suicide was much, much higher than the number of non-autistic students who had died by suicide. And we're just talking about children, we're talking about teenagers. And we think UK में तो सब कुछ ठीक है, उनका तो स्पेशल एजुकेशन सिस्टम इतना अच्छा है, उनके तो पैसे इतने ज्यादा है उनके पास. We don't have any statistics in India. We've not even started thinking about this.
Yeah, because I think on this spectrum, मतलब पहले तो research होनी अभी शुरू हुई है. People have started understand ही करना अभी शुरू हुआ है कि ओ ये भी कुछ है. This is something
Yeah.
to focus on.
And the UK research was only about children who died. Imagine the number of children who planned and attempted and failed. The number of children who are planning. It's very high. It's a public health crisis.
Yeah, I remember Rakshita when we did our first show on suicide awareness with Dr. JP Agrawal. That was when you contacted me first, saying that we need to spread awareness about suicides in autistic children, which was way higher, and that was when we decided. It was, I think, in January or December
Yeah.
that we will conduct a session, and I'm glad that after 4 months you are here. And I also want you to share about your childhood, where you said something about being different as a child. Everybody wanted you to play, but you did not. You wanted to read books and all.
Yeah. Yeah, I was that kind of a child, that I just wanted to read books. All the time I wanted to read books. I didn't want to play with other children. But it was like my mother, my punishment used to be, I will take away your book. So my mother used to force me to go out and play with other children. There were a lot of children in the neighborhood. तो जाओ उनके साथ खेलो, तुम्हें तो खेलना ही पड़ेगा. In one way that's really good, because I learned social skills that other children use. But then I've realized that I really didn't understand how to play. Like, I would just be in the periphery. Everybody is running towards something. Okay, I will also run. Everybody is sitting down and doing something. I will also sit. I would have no clue what the children are playing, or
Yeah,
what are the.
basically good at mimicking the behavior.
Yes. So I would just mimic the behavior, but I wouldn't know inside outside of what they are doing, what they are thinking, what they want. And I always, even now, I prefer one-on-one talk, and I know that I can like make a very deep impact on people. I can form very, very good strength, very strong friendships with people, but only when it's one-on-one.
Yeah, I remember my son. I remember it was a really hard time teaching my son to play hide and seek. He would just hide and he would just start laughing when everybody is laughing. He would just do what other kids are doing, but he would not really understand hide and seek till 2 to 3 years of playing. And I also remember uh, I started creating play dates at my house just so that my son is starting to play with other kids. And when the first time I created that play date, all the kids were enjoying it. My son was went in another room, playing in another room, and telling me I don't want to play with them. And I literally cried that day that I did all this for my son, pizza party and everything. All kids are playing, but my son is in the other room. So yeah, this whatever you're saying as a child, I have experienced that. And I forced my child to be social. He goes down, he gets bullied by bigger kids. Have you ever been bullied by
Oh, yes.
other kids?
And you know what? Abhi we have awareness about bullying. I have to tell you this. when I started thinking about autism, there's this one friend of mine from school. So I went and told her, I showed her all the tests and I told her, I'm thinking about this. I'm thinking that I might be autistic. And then she read up and then she said, do you remember you used to get bullied in school? I said, bullied? मैं? हमने तो ये वर्ड सीखा जब हम लोग, हमने तो सोचा ये सिर्फ अमेरिका में होता है, आजकल के किड्स में होता है यार. She's like, no, every day you would be bullied. I didn't realize that I was being bullied. In my head, it was just like, okay, they don't like me. No wonder I was so depressed. Because I was able to understand that there's something very negative, but because I couldn't put a word to it and I couldn't like seek help for it, and I didn't have anybody say, Rakshita, it's not your fault. We are going to take care of this and we are going to help you and we are going to punish those children or whatever. We are going to teach those children, punish those children, whatever. But, deal with the situation. And this, as an educator, I've seen day in and day out, when an autistic child is bullied, the blame is put back on the child, saying तुमने तो कुछ किया ही होगा, पक्का किया होगा तुमने, तुम्हारा बिहेवियर कोई साधु संत टाइप बिहेवियर है. Instead of facilitating a positive relationship, instead of saying whatever this child did, like if this child, suppose for example, in a class, everybody wants to play some game and this child said, no, I don't want to play, and everybody thought that was rude, and therefore they thought it's okay to gang up and bully this child. As a teacher, what we must do is say, look, he did not, don't attach intentions to his words. He does not have control over his tone. When he said no, he really means the no. He does not mean to put you down. He does not mean to be rude. But whatever that was, you have no right to gang up and bully the child. That is an unacceptable behavior.
I actually ganged up with other kids against my child when he was 3 year old, and everybody used to ask him, what is your name? And a child of 2 years is also expected to speak his name, and my son was not speaking his name at 3 years, but he had speech. He was singing rhymes. He knew colors. So I could not imagine कि एक बच्चे में speech हो सकता है लेकिन language नहीं हो सकता. Even being a doctor, I was not aware of this fact. तो जब भी सोसाइटी में वो खेलने के लिए मैं उसको लेके जाती थी एंड बाकी बच्चे पूछते थे कि व्हाट इज योर नेम, व्हाट इज योर नेम, तो वो म्यूट रहता था. ही नेवर यूज्ड टू रिप्लाई टू अदर पीपल. तो मुझे गुस्सा आता था उस पे, अपने बेटे पे, क्योंकि मुझे उस टाइम पे उसका डायग्नोसिस नहीं हुआ था. मैं बोलती थी सबको कि इसका नाम तो ना एटीट्यूड है, इसका नाम अतिशय नहीं है, इसका नाम एटीट्यूड है. एंड विद इन फ्यू वीक्स व्हेन ही वाज डायग्नोस्ड, I mean, that was the first memory I had, and I literally started crying that this is what I did to him.
Yeah, it is difficult.
Okay, first of all, I'm so glad that you're being so honest with yourself, and not just with yourself in private. I mean, you're a doctor and this is a public forum.
Yeah, it was not easy. I've never been open about this since last 5 years. I have had my share of challenges. The biggest challenge is whenever I tell anyone that my son is autistic, then first thing they will say कि दिखता तो नहीं है, because for people autism is mental retardation. So
Yeah.
immediately they'll tell me कि तुम्हारा बेटा तो ठीक ठाक दिख रहा है, वो तो नहीं दिखता. मतलब उनके लिए autism का मतलब है मंद बुद्धि. तो जो
Yeah.
फर्स्ट बैरियर होता है वो ये होता है कि यू कांट इवन शेयर विद पीपल. आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट डॉक्टर्स.
Yeah.
Whenever I'm talking about pediatricians, that even my pediatrician friends have been telling me, अरे ये तो पागल है, इतना अच्छा खासा बच्चा है, गा रहा है, बोल रहा है, हंस रहा है, नाच रहा है, सब कुछ इसको आता है, इसको अपनी सारा करिकुलम आता है, how can he be autistic? And
हाँ.
this is a very, very big challenge. And the second challenge is the moment you tell non-medicos
हाँ.
about that your son is autistic, and suppose उसके बाद कुछ होता है, तो सबसे पहले जैसे तुमने बोला ना कि ये माना जाएगा कि इसी बच्चे की गलती है,
हाँ.
तो सोसाइटी में हर
या
कोई
मम्मी ने ना सिखाया नहीं है, बहुत
सिखाया
लाड
नहीं है,
प्यार से
या
बढ़ती है. ये जब ऐसे बिहेव करते हैं ना घर पे, तो छूट बहुत दे दी है इसको घर पे.
हाँ,
कि
छूट
मम्मी
बहुत
की
दे दी
फॉल्ट
है,
है ये.
या एंड
दो
इवन माय
चार मार
मॉम,
पिटेगी ना इसको, सुधर जाएगा ये.
exactly, even my mom, my siblings, my bestest of friends, I had struggled with all of them regarding कि ये मतलब उसके जो सिम्टम्स है वो बदतमीजी है. सो दिस इज द
हाँ.
बिगेस्ट बैरियर आई हैड कि अतिशय बदतमीज नहीं है, उसे पता ही नहीं चल रहा है वो क्या बोल रहा है. सो आई नो दैट वो वो पता है क्या सीख लेता है, दो चार लैंग्वेज. जैसे मैंने अगर किसी को बोल दिया यार तू पागल है क्या, ही विल लर्न दैट स्टेटमेंट. एंड नेक्स्ट
हाँ.
टाइम अगर मैंने अतिशय को कुछ बोल दिया तो वो इमीडिएटली मुझे बोलेगा आप पागल हो क्या. एंड देन
हाँ.
एवरीबडी विल लुक एट मी कि ये तुम सिखाती हो अपने बच्चे को.
हाँ.
सो आई थिंक फ्रॉम एनवायरमेंट जो बाकी बच्चे फिर भी सीख जाते हैं कि क्या बोलना चाहिए क्या नहीं बोलना चाहिए. मेरे बेटे को सिर्फ ये पता है कि मेरी माँ ने ये बोला, पड़ोसी ने ये बोला, सीरियल में ये बोला गया. सो अगर बड़े लोग बोल सकते हैं तो मैं भी बोल सकता हूँ. सो दैट इज व्हाई ही इज हाईली लेबल्ड एज अ बदतमीज चाइल्ड, which again pains me as a parent. But now I have मतलब since his language is far developed now, जब तक वो बात नहीं करता था 5-6 साल की उम्र तक, तब तक तो दिक्कत था. बट अब जब वो बात करता है मुझसे और हम बात कर पाते हैं, तो अब चीजें डिफरेंट है. वो मैं उसको कोई ना कोई चीज किसी ना किसी लेवल पे जाके समझा पाती हूँ. एक ही बात को समझाने में मुझे बाकी लोगों से 10 टाइम्स ज्यादा टाइम लगता है, 10 टाइम्स ज्यादा एनर्जी और एफर्ट स्पेंड करना पड़ता है, बट एंड रिजल्ट इज गुड if I try to go in his world. And I think one thing that worked for me is love, that love and acceptance, that I accepted him and I loved him the way he is. That is when things started changing. Till the time I was resisting, it was painful, and since I started accepting, things have started changing. He's growing every day, he's growing beautifully. Everybody loves him, he loves everybody, he's very social, he's very sensitive. But yes, he is labeled as a Battamiz child by many people, and I think it's their loss.
I think it is not he being a Battamiz child, it is the Battamiz environment that don't understand that
Yeah.
he is the way he is.
Yeah.
I want to ask one more question over
Huh?
here. Now, since this was, as Kirti Didi said, that that was her experience as a parent. I want to know, and I want you to share, because there is a lot of research जो ये कहती है कि neurodiverse brained people, they don't feel anything, they don't have empathy. What is it? What is it for them? How would, now that we have an example, we have a live, you are an adult example, we have a kid example. What is it for the kid? What is it for that adult?
So the first thing I want to talk about this is called the theory of mind deficit, and it has become a very popular theory to say कि autism में core issue क्या है, because autism is a very puzzling thing for people. And by the way, I hate that puzzle piece symbolism, because it shows as if हम में कोई कुछ मतलब एक स्क्रू ढीला हुआ है और वो एक और पजल पीस अगर आ जाए तो हम बिल्कुल ठीक हो जाएंगे, पिक्चर कंप्लीट हो जाएगी. नहीं, पिक्चर कंप्लीट है. आप लोगों के देखने का तरीका या नजरिया थोड़ा अगर इस तरफ हो जाए, इस तरफ से देखने से हम ठीक ही हैं, इस तरफ से देखने से आपको पजल पीस टूटा हुआ दिखेगा. ओके, एनीवे, सो टू शो दैट because it's a very puzzling thing for people what autism is. And so one of the most popular theory about what is going wrong in autism is the theory of mind deficit. Now, what they had done in the early 60s 70s is this one experiment. जहाँ पे this so suppose there is Rakshita is the researcher, Anupama and Kirti are say dolls. Okay, no, Anupama and Kirti are there. Okay, not dolls. Anupama and Kirti are the subjects. Now both of them have a box each. I'm of course Anupama और कीर्ति के साथ ये experiment नहीं किया था, but I'm just like making it an analogy for us to understand this easily. So अनुपमा को एक बॉक्स दिया गया, कीर्ति को एक बॉक्स दिया गया और एक एक चॉकलेट दिया गया. दोनों ने अपना चॉकलेट अपने डब्बे में डाला. उसके बाद कीर्ति टॉयलेट चली गई या कहीं और बाहर चली गई. तो अनुपमा ने क्या किया, कीर्ति के डब्बे में जो चॉकलेट था वो निकाल के अपने डब्बे में डाल लिया. अब जब कीर्ति वापस आएगी तो वो अपने चॉकलेट के लिए कहाँ ढूंढेगी? अपने डब्बे में. The children who were able to do this, who were able to answer this question, were deemed as normal, and the children who were not able to answer this question were deemed as autistic. So, or they found that autistic children were not able to answer this question. They would say वो तो अनुपमा के डब्बे में ढूंढेगी.
Oh.
फिर इस एक्सपेरिमेंट का इस एक्सपेरिमेंट को बहुत तरीकों में मॉडिफाई किया, बहुत बार रिपीट किया, and they found similar results. So they came up with this theory that autistic people are not able to understand the other person's mind.
बेसिकली घुमा घुमा के बात समझ में नहीं आती है, तो सीधी बात करो ना. तुमने बता that the thing you want to say.
No, that's not the thing I want to say. But yeah, what you're saying is also right. Like घुमा घुमा के क्यों बात कर रहे हो यार, सीधा बात करो ना. Anyway, that's another thing for another day probably. But so this has become a very popular theory that autism में the core deficit is that the person has no theory of mind or a deficit of theory of mind, which is understanding the other person's mind. इससे उन्होंने कंक्लूजन बनाया कि एम्पथी में भी डिफिसिट है. सो फॉर एग्जाम्पल, अगर कोई रो रहा है, I know a lot of autistic people have difficulty in, like, I'm using these words, कि करना क्या है मुझे, like should I hug them, should I wipe their tears, should I say it's okay, what should I do? And while they're thinking in their head, and even I face this a lot of times, abhi I'm actually pretty good at this, so I don't face an issue with this in this aspect when somebody's crying, but I know a lot of people have that issue, that a lot of autistic people, and while they're thinking कि मैं क्या करूं, they'll just sit like this. फेस पे तुम्हें कुछ नहीं दिखाई देगा, वो जो सोच रहे अंदर कुछ पता नहीं चलेगा, and therefore it's very easy to come to a conclusion that this person doesn't care, this person does not have empathy. वो बंदा रो रहा है और ये बंदा बैठा हुआ है. Very, very, very common in schools with children. An autistic child will go right in front of the teacher and say and push the teacher's face like this, even in 7th 8th standard, and say I want, and ask their question. Okay, suppose they want to ask, ma'am, on which page should I write? and they'll go stand right in front of the teacher and they'll do this or something, and they'll say, ma'am, which page should I write? And the teacher's like, Battamiz, is this the way you behave with your teacher? And the child will just laugh, or the child will just go back to their seat, and the teacher will be like, क्या है ये, सॉरी तो बोल, ओके आई विल नॉट डू इट तो बोल. In the autistic person's mind, what is going on is, अच्छा मैंने गलत किया, okay, ठीक है, मैं next time नहीं गलत करूंगा. But that has to be communicated to the other person for the other person to understand is very difficult for us. So it's not that empathy nahi hai. We are able to understand that there's something wrong there. We are able to understand that I'm supposed to do something to correct this situation. How we take action, what action we take might be very different from what you're expecting. In my mind, अगर मैं चले जाऊं इस सिचुएशन से और जाके अपनी सीट में बैठ जाऊं, तो मतलब टीचर को क्या अच्छा नहीं लगा कि मैं यहाँ पे आया टीचर के पास और मैंने टीचर को छुआ, तो अगर मैं जाके बैठ जाऊं तो ये प्रॉब्लम चला जाएगा ना. But the teacher is expecting something else. Say sorry, say I will not do this again.
Right.
On the flip side, I want to say, are neurotypicals able to understand what is going on in the autistic mind?
No. Not at all.
No.
That's why I think about 3 years back, one autistic researcher came up with this theory of the double empathy problem. Theory of mind might be understanding the other person's mind might be an issue for autistic people. But you know what? Understanding the autistic person's mind is equally an issue for neurotypical children. Neurotypical people.
Okay.
So it's a two-way conflict. The deficit is not in the autistic brain. The deficit is in the gap between the autistic brain and the non-autistic brain, which are very, very differently wired, which are thinking very differently, which are looking at the situation very differently.
Like you said, a tiger is expected to behave in a desert.
Yeah. Actually, I wanted to talk about this, Tabi, when you said about disability and disorder. First, we have to understand what is disability. Disability is not within a person or inside a person. What is inside a person is a body. That body might be constructed very differently. If there are 100 types of ants in this world, or maybe more, if there are like 100 types of ducks, why can't there be 100 types of autistic brains? I mean, not autistic brain, human brains.
Human
Why
brains.
are we there? Scientifically, there is no normal brain. There is diversity. There is so much diversity. Every brain is different.
Yeah. But
Every nervous
system
system is working differently.
Yeah. But the expectation is one. Schooling system is one. Learning
Yeah.
pattern is one. Society behavior is one.
Yeah. And
What?
so there is this myth that there is a normal, there is an average, and that everybody has to come as close to the average as possible, but there is no average.
Yeah.
It's like when we go to when we are trying to organize a shadi, और शादी के लिए हमें खाना रेडी करना है, we don't say मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगता है दाल और रोटी, तो मैं सिर्फ दाल और रोटी रखूंगी, right? I don't know, there are 2000 people who are going to come to the shadi. I don't know who they are, what their needs are going to be, so I'm going to keep noodles, I'm going to keep shahi paneer, I'm going to keep pani puri or golgappe. I'm going to keep a variety so that, because I know, मैं ये मान के चलती हूँ that there is a variety of people who come. There is no one type of food preference. It's not like I'm doing this in North India, so there is only everybody eats roti dal, or I'm doing this in South India, so everybody eats idli sambar. You are going to keep a variety for people, right? Then why are we in this myth that there is no variety in the in terms of how people think, how people perceive, how people take in information, how people process that information in the head, and how people communicate that information? So what there is a different brain or a different body, and when that body, that different body plus barriers in the environment is equal to disability. So it's like there's a tiger which is in a desert. Being a tiger is not wrong.
Yeah.
The tiger would actually be proud to be a tiger. But in a desert, the tiger is going to have to face hell, because the environment is not built for the tiger. Now, if you want the tiger to live a good quality life, the natural thing to do is not turn the tiger into a camel or teach the tiger how to live like a camel, but to build an oasis or a jungle around the tiger.
Certainly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That brings to my next question. What perspective and thought process shift is required and it is expected out of uh, parents, out of teachers, out of school, out of society as a whole, and that you are into this, um, you have been researching into this so extensively. What is your perspective, that what is that thought process shift, kahan chahiye wo thought process shift, and how should we as a society start taking it? What are the steps that we can start doing it?
first thing that I want everybody to understand is what is disability. Disability does not reside inside a person. When the body interacts with an environment that is causing barriers, the body is not built for that environment, the environment is not built for that body. When that combination happens, that's when disability happens. एक जमाने में हम लोग सोचते थे कि अगर किसी का फ्रैक्चर हो गया तो दैट्स इट डन, वो एग्जाम नहीं लिख सकता है, उसका एक साल अगर वो 12th में और जस्ट बिफोर हिज एग्जाम्स ही गॉट अ फ्रैक्चर, दैट्स इट डन, ही हैज टू वेट फॉर वन मोर ईयर टू राइट हिज 12th एग्जाम और whatever 10th exam. Today we will provide him a scribe.
Yeah, scribe is a person who will assist that person in writing, right?
Yeah.
The student will speak and the scribe will give his hand to write.
Yeah.
Like provide the support.
Yeah. एक जमाने में हम लोग सोचते थे कि अगर एक्सीडेंट हो गया, व्हील चेयर पे बैठना पड़ा, तो मतलब ऑल आर मूवीज यूज्ड टू शो नो लाडला एंड ऑल, कि लाइफ तो बस खत्म, व्हील चेयर पे आ गए तुम, लाइफ खत्म. अभी तो व्हील चेयर पे ओलंपिक्स भी खेल रहे हैं लोग.
राइट.
Even
इवन पुराने जमाने में एडीएसडी जो स्टूडेंट्स होते थे उनका तो सारा स्कूल ड्रॉप आउट हो जाता था ना, स्कूल में नहीं पढ़ पाते थे. बट आजकल जो 10th और 12th स्टैंडर्ड के एग्जाम्स में इवन एडीएसडी सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट सीबीएसई इज आल्सो प्रोवाइडिंग देम द फैसिलिटी ऑफ स्क्राइब, बिकॉज दे रिकॉग्नाइज दैट बच्चे को आता है, बच्चा लिख नहीं पा रहा है उस सर्टेन स्पीड के साथ में, जो स्पीड एक्सपेक्टेड है वो लिखेगा अपने स्पीड से, पर एग्जाम में चलेगा नहीं, तो उनको एक स्क्राइब भी अलाउड है.
Yeah, so what changed? The disability did not change. The disabled person became abled. How? The body did not change.
Yeah.
The environment changed.
Yeah.
We have to create more, we have to create an environment which is comfortable for this.
Yes. You know, I want to say one more thing. What are the other times that our body changes? Pregnancy, our body changes. Old age, our body changes. But you know what happens in pregnancy? The environment changes You announce at home that you are pregnant, people will start giving you so much food. People say, "नहीं नहीं नहीं, बैठे रहो, बैठे रहो, बैठे रहो."
Right.
Your office might say, if you want to sleep because you're feeling very sleepy, ha, take a nap and come back. When you're in old age, they might say, you don't have to come to office. We will give you a pension. They'll give you a ground floor wala ghar. Environment changes when the body changes. If that environment wouldn't have changed, then we would have called even pregnancy a disability. We would have called even old age a disability.
Agreed.
When, if I get a fracture, if I meet with an accident and say I have to use crutches because my leg is injured, I have to use crutches for a few days. Around me, people will be able to understand. When I get a fever, my environment changes accordingly. If it hadn't changed, then even fever would have been called a disability.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah.
So what needs to change is the environment. That we need to look at this as a time when the person needs help, a person needs support. जब बच्चा छोटा होता है और सिंक में हाथ धोना धोना नहीं, मतलब when he's not able to wash his hands in the sink, धो नहीं पाता है अपने हाथ, तो हम क्या करते हैं, एक स्टूल देते हैं बच्चे को, इस स्टूल
Yeah,
के
the
ऊपर
support.
खड़े होके हाथ पहुंच जाएगा तो हाथ धो लो. That is how we need to think. What kind of a stool do you need to give so that the person can do that work? अगर आपको लगे कि ये हाथ ही नहीं धो पाएगा,
मान ही लिया.
स्टूल,
Yeah. आपने डिसेबल मान ही लिया उसको, rather than providing the right support or the right environment.
हाँ, मतलब then that is when the child will also become disabled, ना? Then we will call
Yeah.
it a child disabled, क्योंकि वो हाथ ही नहीं पहुंचता उसका सिंक तक.
Please share about the programs that you've been doing
Exactly. That was my question to you, Rakshita. What is it that you're doing? What are
with the
programs
truth.
what are the
Yeah.
conferences that you're actually, tied up with? What are the initiatives that you're taking up?
So one thing that's coming up is we are doing a conference on the 18th of April and the 25th of April, where all presenters are going to be autistic adults.
Wow.
And we have amazing lineup. We have people from all across the world who are presenting. Some are presenting about how they communicate differently. Some are presenting about how what their experience with burnout has been, what their experience with trauma has been. Some are talking about how they make friendships, and we have to understand how autistic people make friendships is very 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 different from how non-autistic people make friendships. You guys might go and say, "Hi, how are you? Khana khaya." Har roz you do this for like 2 months and then you become friends, probably. I don't know. But then how we do it is, you're into BTS, I'm into BTS. And then start talking about BTS for like 5 hours, and then we've become best friends.
What is BTS?
I don't know the full form, but that they're a K-pop band. And because yesterday I had for वो conference के लिए we were doing a practice session yesterday, and then this is what happened between two of our presenters, and they became best friends in like 20 minutes because they kept speaking about BTS, and then they took the conversation out of the practice session, and then they spoke the whole night about BTS, and both of them are writing to me saying they've found best friends for life. So if you had seen that play out, you would have thought they've both fallen into love with each other. or something like that. You know how they show in movies.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Share
so
the links.
we were talking about various um, so experiences, identity, the autistic identity, and how to support autistic people.
I think there will be a lot of participants who would want to be a part of it and see to it, understand it. Yeah, and now, I mean, these were the questions from my side. Thank you. You have explained the whole thing very well. You've expressed it so well. I'll just open the platform for certain questions. Okay, I'll read the questions. Okay. So there is one question which is saying how to train kids to get themselves protected. Okay.
मतलब बुलिंग से प्रोटेक्ट करने के लिए क्या करना है?
How train kids.
Okay. uh, Actually, this whatever I'm going to say is applicable to all types of therapies and all types of support that we give to autistic children. First is let the child be. Child's behaviors are not a problem. The child, every behavior is a communicative behavior. Look at it as having a communication intent and address the message that the child is giving.
Mhm.
What this will do is reinforce for the child that I am heard, I am valid, and my experiences are valid. Like all our therapies, Aj, they say stimming should be stopped. Stimming is hand flapping, yeah, echolalia, yeah, like rocking, all that, all those behaviors should be stopped. But autistic, any autistic people, you ask, and even the most severe autistic person, you ask, why do you like this? Why do you do this? They will tell you emotional regulation. We can get so happy that we will get dysregulated. We can get so sad that we will get dysregulated. We can get so angry that we get dysregulated. And this is our body's natural way to regulate emotions. So जब बच्चा रो रहा है, you know, बहुत छोटा बच्चा जो हाथ में होता है बच्चा, जब वो रो रहा है, what do? We rock the child. हमारे कल्चर में some elderly women, when somebody very close to them dies, what do? They rock like this and they cry. Hi, mar gaya, hi. They rock and cry. Why? That's a body's natural way to regulate emotions. It should not be stopped. It should be encouraged. So like this, there are so many behaviors, or their most behaviors have an intent, have a purpose. Your body may not behave that way, but then this body behaves that way. It has a purpose. So first thing is understand that particular person's body and teach that person to listen to their body. What this will do is reinforce for that child that I am valid, my experiences are valid, and what my body is valid. Next, what we need to do is teach them what are your boundaries. Like, for example, I can't take more than 2 people talking at the same time. But even today, I don't know how to say to people, please do not talk more. If you're like at home, when many people are talking, in a meeting, when many people are talking, I can go into a meltdown very fast. Because I still don't know how to tell people to talk one at a time. For me, it feels like rush hour traffic करके सारे cars आ रहे मेरे सर पे. It feels like that. Too much sensory input at the same time. That's how my brain works. It cannot take so many inputs at the same time.
Exactly, that is what my son says when he's in class and when his copies are blank. I ask him, Atisha, तुमने पूरे क्लास में एक वर्ड भी क्यों नहीं लिखा? Then he tells me, मम्मा इतनी सारी आवाजें आ रही थी कि मुझे टीचर की आवाज नहीं सुनाई दे रही थी. So basically all kids are shouting at the same time. He's not able to focus on the board or what teacher is saying.
Yeah. But
He's listening everything.
what we need to do at that time is teach the child that it's okay that you're having this experience. How do you deal with this experience? Talk to the at that child cannot advocate for himself, so you talk to the teachers, talk to the management, talk to the class, how to maintain that boundary, that this is my child's boundary, this is my child's limit. When every day that boundary is being broken and the child is put in distress every single day for 8 hours, or what, 6 hours, right, in a school, 6 hours, can you imagine the amount of trauma that the child has to go through? Where are we teaching boundaries then? How are we teaching boundaries then? This is my personal space. पता ही नहीं बच्चे को कहां से प्रोटेक्ट करेंगे जब बुली हो रहा है बच्चा. बच्चे को तो पता भी नहीं चलेगा, जैसे मुझे नहीं पता था कि वो बुली हो रहा है. Because he will not be able to think that he has any boundaries that he needs to protect. That it's okay for him to say no. बोल के तो देखे कोई ऑटिस्टिक बच्चा,
उसे क्लास से बाहर ही निकाल देंगे.
क्लास से बाहर निकाल देंगे. मम्मी को बुलाएंगे, बोलेंगे तुम्हारा बच्चा इतना बदतमीज है. बोलते टीचर आवाज ज्यादा कर रही है, बच्चे ज्यादा आवाज कर रहे हैं, स्कूल ही ना आए वो तभी ठीक होगा, घर पे बैठे रहे. बोलेंगे कि नहीं ऐसा?
Yeah, so many people are actually working, studying from home now. So many.
Yeah. And you know what? In this pandemic, a lot of our autistic children are actually doing much better than in school. Yeah. Because of this precise reason, because their social environment and their sensory environment is in their control. And as school educators and leaders, we must be ashamed कि हमारे स्कूलों में हो क्या रहा है कि ये बच्चे इतना फेल हो रहे थे हमारे स्कूल में, अब जब ऑनलाइन हो गया है, they're doing much better. So then what is the problem? बच्चा नहीं change हुआ ना, environment change हुआ.
There's another question where a participant is saying that how are you managing autism and how to cope with it?
So I started managing it, I think, only after I realized that I am autistic. And my therapist is very pro neurodiversity. So she does not like try to change me. She gives me ways to, or she teaches me ways to navigate within the boundaries of my strengths and weaknesses. So for example, my husband and I, whenever we used to have a fight, I used to go into a meltdown because I wouldn't know how to tell him, like, मैं कुछ बोल रही हूँ वो कुछ और ही समझ रहा है. And I used to get very frustrated कि मैं कैसे समझाऊं, वो तो कुछ और ही समझ रहा है और ये conversation तो कहीं और ही जा रही है. And so what I realized along with my therapist is that he is a very visual learner and I am very bad. He's a very visual person and I am very bad at visual. Second, that he is neurotypical, so he's going to look at things the way the society looks at generally. And I am looking at things very differently. So there is a difference in our perception. Third, uh, I learned to like now make flow charts. So whenever I want to say something to him, I make a flow chart. This is what I'm saying. This is what it means. Fir aisa type, so that he understands. And then within like it gets resolved, because he'll be like, "Oh, this is what you're saying." I was like, "Yeah, man, this is what I was saying." So my so it has helped my family also understand me, helped me. This is just one example. Um, but how to deal with my anxiety, or when I'm very overwhelmed with sounds, because my son shouts a lot. Like he loves, whenever he's excited, he'll be like, "Ah!" and मैं तो वहीं पे ठुस हो जाती हूँ. So now I can say I want my solitude. I want to just like calm down, and my family understands. So I can go into the room for an hour and read, or listen to music, or color on mandala books. So that, so things like this, like little things. Whenever like we have to go to my in-laws house, um, बहुत सारे लोग हैं वहाँ पे तो, and everybody talks at the same time, so my husband knows I'll become very distressed. So he'll only like bring earmuffs, and he'll only give me, like, we are getting into this situation where you're going to get distressed, don't forget to wear your earmuffs. um so things like that, you
So
know.
it's more about the whole environment is being.
Yeah, yeah. And then after some time he'll come and check with me, like, "Are you fine?" I'll say, "Yeah, now I'm fine." Then after 10 minutes he'll come and check, "Are you still fine?" He'll be like, "Okay, go into the room, take your break, I'll handle these people." So I'll go into the room, I'll like, क्या बोलते हैं उसे, regulate myself, and then I'll come back and I'll be like, "Ha, mummy, ha, papa."
Wow, that's interesting. The question is, we have discussed with problem of autism. What are the various modes, facilities available for them to diagnose and manage autism at government and private healthcare providers?
So I know only one or two places in India which are trained to diagnose people in adulthood. Are they talking about adulthood or childhood?
I think both.
Both. Okay. Childhood, so there are multiple. Like now there's a lot of awareness among pediatricians also. They'll do a screening test. Uh, but again, we need to see all those screening tests are not, may not pick up some girls, most girls. This issue can only be resolved. This issue can only be resolved by, I think, educating healthcare providers, the first primary healthcare providers, so physicians, pediatricians. In adulthood, psychologists, psychiatrists, because that's the first place we go to. We have, by then we have developed so many mental health issues, and they need education. I know only Action for Autism in Delhi, which is very well trained in diagnosing children and adults. There is Ummeed in Mumbai, uh, Action for Autism. They were the first autism organization working in the autism sphere in South Asia. So yeah, then there's Ummeed in Mumbai. These are both non-profit organizations. I uh, frankly don't know others. It doesn't mean that they are not there. I don't know. Government. I know that in Coimbatore, the Vellore Institute, not what is that medical college called in Vellore, which is very very
CMC,
famous. CMC.
CMC, Christian Medical College, Vellore.
they have a very well trained pediatric department. They are well trained to diagnose children, and yeah.
Yeah.
But I also want to tell you that autism never comes alone. So autism diagnosis is not just for one doctor. It has to be uh, like added. An occupational therapist must do his own diagnosis, or her on their own diagnosis. A speech therapist must do their own diagnosis. A counselor or a psychologist must do their own diagnosis for say mental health issues. And so it's like सिर्फ ऑटिज्म डायग्नोसिस करने से सपोर्ट नहीं मिलने वाला है. That's what I want to say. You ask any autistic person in this world, even the children, okay, 7-year-old children, do you think autism is a problem? They'll tell you no.
You are the problem. My son tells me, I don't have any problem. I'm more intelligent than all you adults.
So they will say that because and this is a common thing all across. It's not like हाँ पागल अपने आप को पागल थोड़ी ना समझेगा. It's not like that.
Yeah.
It's a, I mean, इतना अगर strong opinion है community का, तो then we have to think about then what is it? It is the community, it is the environment that is disabling them.
Yeah, in Delhi, RML hospital also has an autism board, and I have heard from some psychiatrists that for kids, RML hospital is very good. They assess, they have the team of all the experts, and they also give government certification in case they do diagnose a child to be autistic. So I don't know about adults, but yes, for children and even for ADHD, adult ADHD also RML has facilities.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, these were the only questions. There is one more question, which is, hi, it's so wonderful seeing you, and for the first time realizing that my child too can have his own life and lead it independently. My 4-year-old son is on the spectrum, and so far he is absolutely non-verbal, and there's no response from him. Can I really pin hopes for him to become independent sometime in life? My God,
that reminds me, thank you. I think non-verbal is not non-speaking is not equal to non-verbal. First of all, a lot of non-speaking people, like in our conference that we're going to have, we have 3 non-speaking people who are presenting. Two of them are one is presenting through a poster, one is presenting through a slideshow of photos, and the third one is presenting through an AAC device.
Yeah.
Non-speaking only means that their speech production unit in the body is not producing speech. That's all. And speech is not a superior form of communication. All behavior is communication. I am 200% sure that your child is communicating with you, and you have to understand that communication. It might be very, very different from what you have seen and heard before. It might be very unique. Nobody in on this planet might be communicating that way.
Thank you, Rakshita. Thank you. It was a beautiful expression of your emotions and knowing the world of my child through your eyes. I'm going to give him a lots of love today, going back to him and really not shouting at his every reaction, not shouting every time he shouts or screams, and we all end up saying Atisha dheere bolo, and I think now I'm not going to do that. I'm going to give him all the opportunity to be himself.
Yeah, ask him, kyun chilla rahe ho?
Yeah.
Actually ask him, like, why is he feeling the need to chillaify? Either he might say, मुझे तो पता ही नहीं था कि मैं चिल्ला रहा हूँ, मैं कहाँ चिल्ला रहा हूँ, मैं तो नहीं चिल्ला रहा. So he's probably not even aware of chillaifying, और he might say क्योंकि तुम लोग सुन नहीं रहे हो मेरी बात, समझ नहीं रहे हो मेरी बात.
Yeah.
So then only अच्छा क्या बोल रहे हो, like try to say it in another way so that we can understand and accept the fact that yeah, we can't understand. It's not the child. Communication takes two people.
Yeah.
दो हाथों से ताली बजती है.
Yeah.
By saying that the autistic person is deficient in communication, you're putting all the blame on that person. But it is also your responsibility to understand that communication, na?
Yeah.
Yeah, very, very useful. Very useful, very important. And I think with this session, it has brought us with the real awareness that it is time that we change the environment, we make the environment comfortable, because the environment is not just for one type of people, one type of brain. Environment is for everyone. And thank you, Rakshita. It was a very well informed session. You shared your experiences coming on a social platform and coming on Cleft Sunday actually, and sharing your real experiences. I think this is like an eye opener session, and a lot of people will have a lot of takeaways for them. And there's a lot of food for thought actually for a lot of us. Yeah,
And
that's
thank you to all the participants who have been listening patiently. I think many of the participants don't know anybody in their life having autism. Still, they listen to everything, and it was really great, touching for me
and they are here with us till now.
till
All the
now.
people who
Yes,
are trying to, whatever we did, this session was so important, and there were so important things to discuss. Just summing it up in 1 hour was not justice. So thank you everyone again for staying with us and being with us. And Rakshita, have a great weekend. Uh, have I hope your awareness missions and conferences that you're doing is going to be a great success. We would love to be a part of it, and we'll make every effort to be a part of it.
Thank you. Actually, I want to announce one more thing. We are also coming up with a Spotify podcast where parents and professionals can ask their questions.
Yeah.
And we are a group of autistic people and neurodiverse people who will be looking at things from both sides, from both perspectives. So it's called Bringing Order to the Disorder.
Mhm.
And
wow,
um, it will be the first episode will be out soon.
Mhm.
It's called Why I Say Hi, because I don't say hi. And um, yeah, so we will be circulating more information on that also this month, like
You can circulate that on the group as well, on our Cleft group.
yeah, so when people want to ask their questions, they can post their questions on the through a Google form, and then we'll take up those questions and we'll address them in the
Definitely,
podcast.
we will do that. Definitely. All right.
also you were telling about a book that you all are writing.
Yeah, we are also making some so we are writing a book called 100 Days of Acceptance, um, which is mostly for parents who have just gotten their children diagnosed, very young children, like 3-4 years age. Mostly that's the age that children get autism diagnosis. um, mo- some also get a diagnosis at the age of 13-14, but mostly whoever parents of newly diagnosed children. And it's completely written by autistic people from around the world. We are about 200 people who've written on various topics. That should be published by the end of this year, but because we are in the editing process right now. So
All the best.
Yeah.
thank you.
Great.
Please listen to autistic perspectives to understand how to support them. Like, ask your child only what help. Probably the child knows it better, like has figured it out what will help them.
That's it. I would end the session by saying that
Yeah.
please listen. There is a lot of people don't listen, so it is just important to just listen. And that's it. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Kirti. Take care, and we shall connect.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay,
Bye.
bye.
See you in the session.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.